Well, hello everybody and welcome from snowy Ely, Nevada. I just left my hotel and we're going to go check out what there is downtown here. I did get in late last night and walked around, had dinner at an Italian place down in the historic district of town. But we're going to go and see what Ely has to offer. Ely is a small city of only about 4,000 people. However, it has anything that you might possibly need there, including food, shopping, and most services and conveniences that can be found in any major population hub. I was here in January, perhaps the off-season for seeing the true potential here, as a lot of tourism in the area is focused on getting out into the wilderness in the area for hiking, running, stargazing, and off-road motorsports. But I'm not here for that. I'm here to see this beautiful old downtown, though quiet and worn, that still feels like it's existing in an era gone by. The city of Ely began in the 1800s as an outpost for the Pony Express that operated from 1860 to 1861, and also as a stagecoach stop on the Central Overland Route. In 1868, Ely would be established as a gold mining camp, but the town would not really grow into anything substantial until 1906. When large-scale copper mining began in the area, including in nearby McGill and Ruth. The area would fluctuate and struggle over time, as most western mining towns tend to do. Today, Ely's largest employees are still related to copper mining. When copper mining began to take off in the Ely area, a need arose for a railroad that could accommodate the business, which resulted in the creation of the Nevada Northern Railway, which is now a National Historic Landmark. In July of 1941, the last scheduled passenger train service to Ely came to an end, to be replaced by bus service. Trains would continue to be used on the line for excursions and special occasions. Years later, in 1983, the Nevada Northern Railway ran its very last train, which was when the Nevada Northern Railway Museum was formed. The museum is not a dusty relic of a dead railway. It is a living work environment on a working railroad yard and depot, which puts you shoulder to shoulder with the guys that are still working on these century-old trains every day. You can pay extra to ride on one of their old steam engine-powered trains still today. Diesel excursions are available as well. A walk through the museum grounds starts you off at the historic East Ely Depot, which was built in 1907. The admissions office, which doubles as a gift shop, prepares you for what to expect out on the grounds, thanks to a well-explained procedure by the attendant. Once you exit the back door toward the tracks, you can head upstairs to see displays of how those rooms were used for business when the railway was active. In the words of the staff member that was up there, it is just as if the Nevada Northern Railway staff left during a workday and never came back, because that's basically what happened. Back downstairs, you pass by the freight house, the firehouse, and the bus barn, which was built in 1941 to house the buses that would replace the rail passenger service. There's an electrical shop and a master mechanic building before you finally get to the spectacle of the museum grounds, the working machine shop and engine house, which you are allowed to freely wander around to look at, with plenty of helpful signage explaining things as you go. They even have a shop cat named DJ or Junior, the second shop cat there since their beloved original shop cat, Dirt, passed away. The machine shop and engine house date back to 1907 as well, with multiple additions since then. There are 6 tracks in the engine room, allowing for storage of up to 12 engines. The machine shop still regularly uses tools and equipment that dates back 100 years. Absolutely amazing to think that this equipment is still used daily to maintain and keep these old engines running. There's a repair and place building, a carpenter's building, the coaling tower and water tank, and many, many more smaller buildings and things to see on the grounds here. The museum is well worth a visit, and your admission fees help to keep these old steam engines alive. Engines such as engine number 40, the train that was the Steptoe Valley Flyer, which was the daily passenger train, still in service today on excursions for the Northern Nevada Railway Museum. Throughout town, there are many high-quality murals and paintings all over the place on buildings and walls. At each of these murals is a numbered placard that allows you to use your phone to get more information about each painting or mural. I think these murals add a lot of personality to Ely and bring a little bit of life back to some of the buildings that otherwise look quite dead. At the north end of town, on a tiny little road, is the Ely Renaissance Village, which tells the story of the settlers of the West. The property includes 11 houses and a barn, each telling the story of a different kind of Ely's multicultural settler at the turn of the 20th century. There are individual houses representing settlers of various descents: English, Basque, Irish, Asian, Greek, Slavic, Spanish, and Italian immigrants that all worked to help establish the Ely area. The Renaissance Village is only open during warmer months, and with me being there in a snowstorm in January, it obviously wasn't open during my time in the area. But as you can see, I took some footage of the grounds anyway, and I look forward to going back to explore this little village when it's open someday. Ely has been the county seat of White Pine County since 1887, when it looked apparent that Ely was on the rise, taking the title of county seat away from a now-defunct ghost town, Hamilton City. White Pine County only has about 10,000 residents, but they are spread out over an area that is roughly the size of the state of New Jersey, most living in Ely and its surrounding area. Wedged between the old county courthouse and the White Pine County Middle School, which was built in 1913 and is still being used as a public school today, is a nice little park with picnic areas, a walk bridge, and a cute little pond that has ducks and geese. Being Nevada, of course there are multiple casinos, even in a very small city like Ely, some historic and some not as historic. Many have hotels attached. On the very edge of town lies a little shadier kind of business. Nevada is the only state where prostitution is still legal, although only in some counties, mostly the rural ones. On the far end of town is Ely's red light district. Driving by for this footage was as close as I ever cared to be to these businesses personally. One more major destination to see in Ely is the White Pine Public Museum. Similar to many museums of its kind in similar small towns, it is not really a massive spectacle with major displays, but rather it just provides small glimpses into what times were like in the past. It still had some neat things to see though, including a lot of household items from the last 120 years. Displays on the Pony Express, medical technology, photography, taxidermy, mining, small fossils, these creepy dolls, minerals, and much, much more. Outside, there are lots of small buildings to go through, including the original one-room schoolhouse from Baker, Nevada. The Cherry Creek Rail Depot, which was moved to the property in 1990, an old cabin that also served as the town post office way back in the day, and other small buildings and vehicles. However, despite how interesting the rest of the museum is, the star of the museum is the cast of an ancient cave bear skeleton that is absolutely massive. This thing is 12 feet long and 6 feet tall at the shoulder. Absolutely massive. The museum, though small, is certainly worth a visit. Actually, most of the town of Ely is worth a visit. I really enjoyed my time in Ely. It is a town that is truly trapped in a time gone by, in the very best way possible. Are there a lot of empty buildings? Sure. Could it use some more shopping options? Absolutely. But for a town that is literally 4 hours away from any other major town or city in any direction, it's a great place to stop, and honestly is worth that 4-hour drive if you're like me and enjoy what small towns have to offer. The reason I go to these places is to escape the big city, and Ely is truly a fantastic escape. I highly recommend it. Before leaving town, I stopped into Hometown Pizza to get a bite to eat, and then I was off to my next destination. Let me know in the comments what you think of Ely, and we'll see you next time somewhere else down the road.